What's going on, everyone? It's your guys, PM in the AM. Oh, excuse my fat head. PM in the AM with you guys. We are live talking Flyers hockey, and boy, oh boy, Mike, finally the Flyers finally get themselves a W. You know, this was their last stop on this road trip. They have struggled. This is the first win since Sean Couturier has been named captain of this team. They finally get a W against a terrible, terrible bottom feeding basement Blackhawks team, but nonetheless, a win is a win. The Blackhawks haven't won a game. Now they've lost 11 out of their last 13 games. Mike, what did you see in this game?
First things first, man. Connor Bedard is as advertised. He made some really good moves tonight against the Flyers. Flyers defense started off a little shaky, Pat. If you were as we were watching the game, you saw in the first period they were letting guys get behind them. This game really belonged to Sam Erickson. I thought he really, truly kind of shut the door on a very bad Blackhawks team. Another thing, Travis Konechny, his point total now, he gets the game winner tonight. He keeps going. Travis Sanheim gives them the early lead. And Garnett Hathaway, how good has this guy been? This guy's been playing. He's on he's on that big bruiser line with Delorier. And I'll tell you what, this kid has been, I think, a kind of good surprise for the Flyers. He's always around the net. He looked really good, man. It was a strong, solid 3-1 win tonight for the Fly guys, and I can't complain, man. I mean, it's a good, nice way to bounce back. But Pat, here's the best thing of all. If you were watching the broadcast, they brought it up on the broadcast. This is the last day. The Blackhawks were the last team from the Western Conference that the Flyers have to go to. Tonight was the last. So guess what? Going here forward now, they are staying on our side of the Mississippi on the East Coast, traveling up and down. So that's a big, big plus.
Well, one, I'm going to touch on everything you mentioned. You mentioned about Sam Harrison, and this was his night. And the best part you mentioned about this, and Bush mentioned this on the broadcast, and it kind of opened my eyes to this. Everyone's treating this guy like he's got 5-6 years. This is his rookie year, and put a lot of weight on your shoulders to take over the starting role of this team, thinking that you're going to have a competition for it. But now this is all on him. And not to be mentioned for Rookie of the Year is baffling my mind. I get it. He has had a couple of bad games. But again, the reason why the Flyers, and partially a good reason why, is because he's in net. And that's alone. But you mentioned about Garnett Hathaway. You mentioned about Hathaway. Hathaway was really, really fine. Again, gets the rebound. He was just supposed to be playing. He was just supposed to be traffic in front of the net, but he picked up the loose change, finds the back in the net. Hathaway's been really, really fine. Garnett Hathaway, Travis Konechny,
Dude, that was a laser. I mean, the way where he put that puck. I mean, and you know what? Like you said, I was listening to the Flyers pregame coming in here because Al's got a bunch of stuff going on in here. Usually on Wednesday. Thank you, by the way, Al and Freddie. Actually, if you guys were watching, they did their show, so I was able to come in here and then do this with you. But if you saw how he came down, he took it from end to end. Did Konechny, and man, I'll tell you what, he's been the Flyers MVP so far this season, man. He's been their best player. And I'll tell you what, it got a little rough towards the end of that game there. So I was happy. There was a lot of positives I took out of this game tonight, Pat. I really did. I felt like they bounced back. You know,
Yes.
they kind of took their lumps a little bit with New Jersey, but they bounced back. They beat a team that they were supposed to beat, and they pretty much dominated them. I mean, at one point in time in this game, I think the shots were like 24-8 in favor of the Flyers. So I mean, it was almost 3-1.
Yeah, and look, whatever happened after the game, after Saturday night's game, after the obviously they went to practice. Obviously, John Tortorella got in their butts a little bit, and rightfully so because they looked like they had cement in their skates. But look, they came out tonight, like you said, they dominated a bad hockey team. That second period was all Flyers, and it was. I mean, if I'm going to have a player of the game, and I'll get him out of the way now, is Travis Sanheim. To me, I mean, he kind of sets the tone for the Flyers. The way he played defense for the night, the way he was just kind of staying on guys and making sure he was, forcing pucks over, all that other stuff. I mean, he to me really, really played well. He really brought it. Again, you just had a lot of guys, and Connor Blackwell, who hasn't scored since the first, since January 7th. I mean, again, he got lucky, but really, they don't have a plenty of guys who can find the back of the net. The Blackhawks. Look, they're a bottom feeder team. The Flyers took advantage of it, and look, and you got yourself a big win. Hopefully, this is momentum, but that's the kind of thing that scares me because now you're going to be sticking on the East Coast, like you said, this side of the Mississippi, and you got this to me, this side of the East Coast, the Eastern Conference, is a little bit more scary than the Western Conference.
Well, it is, man. If you go back and take a look at just how the Flyers have played against some of these teams. Now, again, they're getting their second crack at the Rangers. We've only played them one time, so you're getting your second crack this weekend coming up against the Rangers. But that's here, they get the in the back-to-back. They're going to end up with Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's not the same team that they once were. They're formidable, but the Flyers have kind of had their way with Pittsburgh, man. And I'll tell you what, I like the direction that this team is going in, man. They're playing with poise, and I'm not one of these guys that's subtracting from what they're doing. I know you and Matty B are kind of on a different wavelength there of what they should do at the trade line. I'm kind of in the middle of both of you guys. Like, I think there's moves that can be made that can help this team, but I wouldn't go crazy. Oh, Dave Addis checking in. He said they won a game that they should have won, which was a struggle in the past. However, they didn't exactly overwhelm me tonight. It was a nice win, though. I mean, Dave, you got to count the win as a win. You know what I mean? They're coming off a divisional game. It was kind of a national game. And, yeah, they got fed a bottom feeder. But that bottom feeder just took Carolina to overtime, their previous game.
But like you said, though, like you said from the at the top of the show, they got a piece for the future, and that's what they're looking to build upon. They don't have nothing else. Like you said, maybe you guys are looking for a Flyers to have a 6-1 win, and what you probably are looking, and they should have. But listen, they beat them down. They took care of them in the second. That third period, they shut them down defensively. That the Blackhawks couldn't do anything offensively. Sam Harrison stood on his head. I mean, what else did you want? I mean, again, the Flyers told me they played on both sides of the puck very, very well. And now, look, like you said, you kind of build yourself a little bit of momentum. Come Saturday. Saturday, to me, is another, like you said, is a get-right game to find out what you want to do as far as tread deadline, as far as how far you really want to push this thing. How far are you looking for another puck handler? Are you looking for a guy, a scorer? Do you need another backup goaltender? I think it all comes down to Saturday of where John Tortorella and the Philadelphia Flyers were going to take it. So I like it. Like I said, to me, this is a good momentum builder. They finally get a win on the road. If they would have lost tonight, it would have been their third straight loss, and that's what you don't want to head in, especially coming back home against that Rangers team.
Right, and here's the thing too. Like leading into this now, the Devils and Rangers actually play each other tomorrow night, up there in Newark. So that's a pretty good tilt for them. I'm actually looking at the schedule, man. Like, you got some heavyweight tilts coming right now in the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
But just tomorrow, like I said, you got Rangers Devils, which is probably, if you get a chance, guys, to watch that, if you're a hockey fan, watch it, because that's going to be, the Battle of the Hudson. They don't like each other. I'll tell you another one that's going to be another good one. Carolina and Florida play tomorrow night as well. So that's something you might want to go into. I mean, there's a plethora of games on there tomorrow night that I'm looking at. Another good one, if you want to stay up late, you got
Yes.
those Toronto Maple Leafs are heading to Vegas to play the Golden Knights. Again, he said, I like your backup goaltender idea. Who would have thought we'd be highlighting that position? You didn't exactly, Dave. When this season started, you thought it would be Carter Hart and everybody else, but unfortunately, Carter Hart's not going to be here. So luckily, the Flyers are strong enough. And listen, the Flyers got guys in the pipeline too. So it's really, this is something that I'm liking. Like, this is something that the Flyers haven't had in the past. They couldn't bring, like, their homegrown talent was so few and far between. It was kind of bad. That's why Ed Snyder used to go out and buy everybody, because they just didn't develop here for some reason.
No, and you said it best. Look, this is where me and Matt is stay on two opposite sides of the island on this. And look, and like I said, we respect each other's opinion, and you understand, like, we've been promised the world, just in trust and believing in the farm system for so many years. And, what really came out of that farm system other than Konechny as far as a playmaker. So, but anyways, that to me has been the big question mark. So, but if they could pack, like I said, pack a punch on Saturday to me, on this Rangers team, who's kind of been owning them, and not just owning the Flyers, but kind of been running away with the East, other than the Panthers right now, who's been staying strong. That's who you really have to answer to. The Bruins are starting to fall down a little bit. They fell in the standings. Now they're number 3 right now. So they're starting to come down off their high a little bit. But yeah, other than other than Carolina, the Florida Panthers, and the Rangers, to me, you're a valuable contender.
The Rangers got this thing with years that end in 4. Okay, years that end in 4, they somehow magically get good. But I'm not sold on them. I mean, I'm really not. I think they're like Toronto to me. Okay. There's the wife checking.
Boss.
The home foreman.
Yes, I'm foreman.
I just feel like them and Toronto are kind of like the same team. I think New York's a little better team than Toronto, but they're the same team. They're good in the regular season, but once it becomes postseason, they just turtle up, man. And it's just I think the Rangers I think they can, unlike Toronto, I think the Rangers can win around. Toronto, I have no faith in. No faith. I think Austin Matthews is wasting his career being there. But we'll talk more about that on Sunday, because I got a nice little rebuttal from you from this past Sunday.
Yes.
So that's for our show on Sunday. Speaking about tonight, Pat, I don't know if you want to I'll do the quick round the league scoreboard real quick.
All right, let's dive right into that. Let's take turns. Which one stood out to you? I mean, because there's a heavyweight fight supposed to be going down tonight. As far there, it's
matter of fact, it just got underway. It's in the first period right now as we talk. That is the Boston Bruins and the Boston Bruins and those Edmonton Oilers. That should be a heavyweight fight tonight. So that is the second half of the doubleheader on TNT. Guys, there is no score in that game right now. Anaheim and Columbus, we have the Blue Jackets with an early 1-0 lead over those Anaheim Mighty Quackers. And, of course, speaking of those affirmation, Toronto Maple Leafs, they have a 2-0 lead on those Coyotes out in Arizona. Also, late in the first period there. So, early in the first period there. 15:01 left there to go. So there is your scoreboard for tonight, guys. Everything. And earlier tonight, the Buffalo Sabres defeated the Montreal Canadiens 3-2. So
so not really a night of except for what's going on right now. See what's going on with this Boston Bruin team, because, like I said, I hope they crumble. I can't stand them. I hope they crumble. I hope the Oilers beat the brakes of them. I don't care. Dave saying, although I would love to see
to annihilate those Rangers.
and the Rangers. But my biggest concern is the Penguins game. We need to put a larger gap between us and them.
Ah,
Listen, Dave.
again, I mean, to answer Dave's question, you know, what can
And
you hey hey ma, what can you do? I mean, you kind of have them in a back to back, you know. And unfortunately, Cal Peterson's going to get one of those games. So to me, if you're going to give him a game, I'm giving him the Penguins game.
right.
You know what I mean? I'm putting Emerson right back in there on Saturday afternoon to face the Rangers.
And Dave, and Dave, to answer that, like I said, if we can annihilate the Rangers, that to me speaks more volumes now than us beating the Penguins. Like I could care. Like the Penguins are again, they're an aging team. And listen, Father Time caught up with them, and they're starting to collapse because of it. So, but let them, go away, into the darkness. But right now, like I said, focus on the Rangers. That's the bigger task at hand. That's who you want to be. If you beat the Penguins, because if you're looking to beat the Penguins because of the rivalry, that means nothing. You want the big bully in the schoolyard. You want to knock him down. You know
Yeah,
what I
I mean, if
mean?
you're looking at the Flyers and the Penguins, like right now, the Flyers got they got an 11-point lead on Pittsburgh. I'm not worried about them, but they they trail the Rangers by 10, and
Yeah.
they trail Carolina by 4.
Trust me, and as they said through the intermission, nobody saw this Flyer season coming. No, and King Henry said himself during the intermission too. He said he gives props. He likes the way that he was breaking down Sam Harrison's game. He likes the way he stops pucks and all that other stuff. So again, kudos to Sam Harrison, who's just been a lightning rod in
Let me
between the
ask you
pipes.
something, Pat. At the beginning of the season, bud, if I told you right now through 57 games, okay, that they have more points than the Tampa Bay Lightning, would you? If I said to you, hey man, end of February, there's going to be a time in this season where the Flyers have more points than the Tampa Bay Lightning, would you have believed me?
No, this is it's scratch on my head of how good this hockey team is. I mean, like I said, I thought they were going to be good. I thought they were going to be okay. I thought they were going to be a team that hovers around the 8 seed, but I wasn't expecting a top three in the Metropolitan Division. I wasn't expecting the run that they're on now. So that's why, to me, and again, I'll be the only one dying on this hill, uh, going all in now
Nah,
because
you
I
can't.
and listen,
You
and
can't.
I get it, and I listen, and I see your guys' side of it because listen, we haven't had a playmaker. You have to let the experts do their job of trying to tell you we need to get ourselves. We have to stick to the course of having the direction of getting a franchise player. Don't trade the franchise player. I'm not saying trade the franchise player. I'm not, but at least try to build serviceable players around can what you have now. Go on in as far as make a significant. I'm not, and you're going to have to give some to get some. I don't understand that, but I would trade like a Lofton and a Cal Pearson for a playmaker or something,
Yeah, but
something in return.
look at it, Pat. What playmaker are you getting for Scott Laughton?
Right, and
You're
maybe a
not
couple
getting
of
nobody.
draft
You're
rounds.
gonna to be honest with you, you know what you might get for something like that? You might be able to go to, I think it's what, Ottawa? I think Ottawa's got Tarasenko, right? I mean, you might be able to get a Tarasenko, but you could get him for a late round, whatever.
Let me ask you, Mike, just to play.
Yes, and he's one of the guys who I wanted the Flyers to sign. I would try to go after a guy like Tarasenko because, yeah, he's an aging vet, but he's a guy that you can bring in. He's a sniper. And it's
Right.
not going to cost too much to go get him. I wouldn't try to do the trade. Guys like Gaudreau or, McDavid, if you are going to try to make that push to try to go after him, those are guys that you go after in the offseason. You know what I mean? Like right now, I want to get rid of some of these contracts that the Flyers are
Right.
bringing. You know what I mean? Like Scott Lawton, dude. Scott Lawton missed an open net tonight. Like
Yeah.
I got to trade him, dude.
I'm sorry at him. Yeah, I mean, I know you're not going to get nothing more than a bag of peanuts, but Mark Stahl does nothing on the ice.
Who?
I mean, right. I see more. I see more. I see more production. I see more production out of Gritty than I've seen out of him. I mean, this is This is absurd. How do you have this guy just you
Uh,
paid? What happened to Bobby Brink? Like I need that kid back up here. Like why is
yeah,
this
I
guy
mean,
even?
yeah, like he's holding, like this dude's holding the spot. I don't know. He got somebody with a camel or something. So, because
He,
I mean,
woo!
for him to still be playing here, and guys like Brink, having to go back up and down, and like, come on. To me, like I said, I think the Flyers are, and the Flyers got help coming on the way too. He was practicing around yesterday. As Forrester, he's got some type of an injury, so he should be coming back soon. But I'll tell you what, Joel Farabee has been snake bitten, man. My
Yeah,
man is snake bitten. Like he can't get on the point sheet no matter what he does. And I mean, you see him out there tonight. He threw a beautiful centering pass, beautiful centering pass, and I want to say it was Morgan Frost. It was right there. I mean, all he had to do
yeah.
was put it in the net, and he hit the goalie. Like he hit the one person you didn't have to hit. So I
And
can't
you,
for Farabee, man. He's
and
been.
you, and you were talking about Farabee tonight. Like the refs. I don't know if the refs had something for that guy because there was a couple times where it was like some bad calls and they just went, what happened? What I mean, there was a clear there was a clear trip right in the center of the ice, and the Flyers, well, the officials tonight must have had dust in their eyes or something. I mean, I don't know how did you miss it? It was clear, it was middle. The only guy had a puck in his hand. He gets tripped up going across the ice, and somehow these guys get dust in their eyes or something because I mean there was no whistles blowing tonight.
Yeah,
Are they?
he had a pretty rough game tonight, man. Farabee.
And I gotta say,
What was the other one too? Late in the game too, he got hit in the face with a high stick.
yeah,
He couldn't
and,
get
and
high
he
stick.
threw his hands up in the air and he said, "Where's the calls at?" And the referees apparently had him on FanDuel trying to get out of the game. So I don't know, but in explaining to me too, Mike, I don't know how smart are the Chicago Blackhawks. If anybody on the Flyers team, you don't want to pick a fight with. I will say of all the fighters I've seen come through, Nick Sealer is one guy you might not want to throw hands with,
That
and
is
they.
my guy. Listen, that is my next Flyers jersey. As long as they don't trade him.
Mhm.
Again, Pat, he was one of my guys. He's one of my stars of the game tonight. He had 4 block shots tonight. Another 4. This dude is a dirt devil. Like he is a goaltender. Like he will
Yeah,
send. And then he had the big fight later on, and he kind of tuned dude up.
yeah.
David said, "I'd rather see us get someone with value while we can for Fairway. I think there's something about him that doesn't impress me. I like Lawton. Well, I'm sorry, I don't. Scotty Lawton's had his time here. It's time for him to go. Although I keep hearing the one guy too, Pat. I keep hearing the one rumor is Sean Walker to the Vegas Golden Knights. I hope that doesn't happen.
But what do you get? Are you getting picks back or
I
is
don't
there?
know. I heard that he's on their radar to go there, and I'm
I
hoping.
saw Walker on the trade block.
I saw
I
Walker was on there. Sealer's on there too as well. I hope they don't get rid of either one of those 2 kids, man.
Flyers need to think long and hard about making some of the decisions they're about to make. If that's that, I mean, if that's on the rumor mill, let it be the rumor mill. But if that's on the for real trade block, you
I
might
got
want to.
like to be honest with you. I got 2 guys I want rid of out of this trade deadline. 3 actually. I want Lawton gone, Ristolainen gone, and I want
Yes,
um
Tech. What's up, buddy?
Zach. What's good,
My
buddy?
man.
Um, what was it? Who did I say? I said Ristolainen, uh,
He's
Lawton,
worth about.
and Cam
He's worth
Atkins,
about going.
and
Right.
Cam Atkins, or yeah, Cam Atkinson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would.
he got to go. Like to me, he's taking up more space on this bench than anybody else. Like he's out there, he's just air. Like he's just like he's like this team's version of Voracek.
Oh man.
Not
Yeah.
enough to stay on the team. Like he got to go. He got
Yeah.
to go. I
And
like Voracek did more for the Flyers than this dude has.
And
And
you know what? He was supposed to be promised to be this guy, this next great goal scorer, and I haven't seen Jack. I mean, I haven't seen him since October.
he stinks. I
Yeah.
want him more. Like I want him so traded. Like I
Is
would
he on the
even
back of a milk carton? I mean, where is he?
dude. He's on the top line. They put
He
him.
is? I haven't seen him.
Yeah,
Oh,
my man.
he doesn't come up on the score sheet.
I know he must have. I'm gonna start calling him Ghost because we can't see him.
No, Casper is nowhere to be found.
Oh, he's horrible, man. He's horrible. And to be honest with you, like watching him play, I'm sitting there going, dude, like, what are you doing? You know, he gave me no promise, right? Like, no offense, I would take Voracek right now, and Voracek's been retired for like the last year and a half.
I would take
now as he is.
If you could get something wild and serviceable. If you get Lofton, Farabee, and 2 first-rounders for a serviceable goalie or a playmaker, I'm in.
They don't need a goalie. They don't need a goalie. No, to me, you stick with him. You stick with Eriksson.
No, I'm not. I'm fine with Eriksson. I'm talking about for Peterson.
Well, no, you don't trade for a backup. Man, you just call up you call up the kid from the Phantoms. Just call him up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, listen, they have so much invested right now in the goaltenders. They got like 6 goaltenders. Like,
right.
A couple of them are bound to pan out,
right.
But to me right now is I feel like they got to get their core group. Like, you know what I mean? Like when they say go all in, but,
Cam is having a rough year. I think he's a total I don't think he's totally healed. I'm totally agree with holding on to Sealer and Walker.
Yeah. So both of those guys, man. I like it. And I'll tell you what, ever since they took Drysdale and York and put them together as a pairing, they've been pretty good. I mean, as your top kind of line. So that's another thing too. It's hard for Brink to crack the lineup too. If you're looking at the Flyers are running with 7 defensemen.
So and Mike, let's get back to some of this game though. I know we kind of like took it off the tracks a little bit. Again, for the people who are just tuning in, maybe you guys didn't catch the Flyers game. The Flyers win 3-1. Your first period, it was Travis Sanheim who sets the tone of the game with a beautiful from the top of the circle. He makes a nice, beautiful goal right between the legs. Goes 5-hole. And then Colin Blackwell, who makes a quick turnaround, makes a nice little goal for the Blackhawks. Like I said, he hasn't scored a goal since January the 7th. That's 5 weeks ago.
Later,
yeah. And then again, like I said, Travis Konechny with some nasty stuff coming across the neutral zone and just being the absolute playmaker that he is, and just tears his team apart. And then Garnett Hathaway makes, turning garbage into goal. Was just supposed to play traffic, but then he finds us back in that.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. Big Al checking in. Of course,
yes, that's
the right before us.
That's at the Rambler. No,
Judas.
No, I'm not Satan.
Oh man.
Wait till I see him. I'm going to get a whole thing of his nibble and just twist.
Oh boy, he's waiting for that.
I'm gonna pierce it. So
question though, did you see the goal, the save Eriksson made on the side to side tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, Sunday's going to be a lot of fun.
I know.
I thought that was probably one of the saves of the year, man. That was unbelievable how he got from side to side and got there. Like you said, if you were watching the game, Henrik Lundqvist was just like in awe of how Eriksson got over there to cover that. And that was definitely that might be a top 10 save of the year there, right there that you saw tonight.
Dude, like you're right. I mean, the way he butterfly effect just kind of spreads out, and like you said, King Henry just looked at him like, wow, like this dude's got something going on. And like you said though, and people are looking like, well, the Flyers should have won because they played a bottom feeder team. They haven't, the Blackhawks haven't won the last 11 out of 13 games. We listen. Me and Mike know all that. But you have to look and see where the Flyers are coming from. They haven't won a game since they named Coots the captain. He finally gets a win under the belt there, and now all of a sudden you build this momentum. You head back home against that, the New York Rangers. Kind of get some time now to prep yourself, and who knows the Rangers better than the head coach himself. So listen, you got guys like Mike Zay, what's his name? What's his name? Mike Zanajak, Mika Zanajak. Like that dude can play. Again, they got a bunch of playmakers, and like our man Dave said earlier, he said he wants to see us pound on the Pittsburgh Penguins rather than the Rangers. No, I'm going for the biggest bully in the schoolyard, and that's the New York Rangers. I want to see if they could win. I don't care if it's a 2-1 win. Listen, you steal one from the Rangers, you're speaking in volumes not just to the Rangers. You're speaking volumes to the whole NHL.
Listen, they go 3-0 over this stretch, man. Like that's pretty much sending a message. You know what I mean? And I know, like I said, tonight was the Blackhawks, but I'll tell you what, if you watch that game tonight, Connor Bedard is as advertised. That kid was hellacious plays tonight. And I mean, his stick handling was, I mean, he turned Nick Seeler inside out, man, a couple times. So,
and like you said, if luckily we had a goaltender on this, literally on his heels tonight, because if he wasn't, I mean, again, Sam Harrison stopped 21 out of 22 shots, and 22 of them pretty much came from Connor Bedard. So, again,
I'll tell you what, they get that kid some help out there. That's it. That kid, like I said, it's the first chance I had to see him all year, and I'll tell you what, he didn't get on the score sheet, but he made some moves out there on the ice that were eye opening. That you were like, whoa, he had got Nick Foligno was his line mate. Nick Foligno is probably like 100 years old.
right.
So I mean, he's a grizzled vet. That's why he's playing in Chicago. For me, you put some talent around that kid, Blackhawks ain't going to be down for long. Like they'll probably take, my line is, we'll take a beating, but sooner or later, that beating's going to turn around. We're going to start giving beatings. They start.
And Mike, we're just about there. And I'm telling you, to me, it's weird. I think you're one of the few people you said we were this time last year. We're looking at we're a 5-year project. You said no, we'll be a little bit sooner than that. You gotta be patient. And
Maddie B yelled me. I had Maddie B yelling at me. Oh no, it's gonna take 5 years. No, it's not. No, it's not because.
To me, I think you're now just a few pieces away of what I'm seeing on the ice to legitimately call yourself a contender. And who knows? Like I said, you get to the NHL playoffs, unlike any other playoffs. You get into the dance, you can make some noise with anybody. It doesn't matter what talent. I've seen the top of the top talent guys. Again, last year was a prime example. That Boston Bruins team was loaded on all 4 lines. And you know what they did in the playoffs? They fell apart to a Florida Panthers team.
Look at Toronto last year. Look at all the moves the Maple Leafs made last year. For what? To go home in 7 games. They do that all the time. They do it
an unknown line like the Flyers can win this whole thing, and pretty like, oh, you're nuts, you're going talking crazy. There you go with your orange and black sunglasses. Say what you want. Yeah, I've seen it happen.
Playoffs are a different beast. But I will agree.
Wouldn't it be crazy the year they're supposed to take off those old Broad Street Bullet names? It's going to be the same year they put this Flyers team name. That would be crazy.
That would be a hell of a book. It would be a hell of a book. But, I mean, I kind of agree with what Matty said, though, on his show Monday night. I feel like they're a lot further ahead than what we thought they were. But you can look at it as, they're ready to
progress.
Go. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Progress. But now, as you're looking at it, dude, I mean, really, they can go out and get some guys. They can get some vets in here. I'm telling you, I want to see Tarasenko in a Flyers uniform. I do.
Yeah.
If you can't get him at the trade deadline, go after him in the offseason. It's not going to cost you much money. He's a sniper. That's what he does. He snipes. He's not the player he once was, but he's good for a 2-year rental. Sign him for 2 years. Bring him in here. Help him get ready. And you have Tarasenko here. By the time you're ready to bring Mitchkov here, he's got a gap. He's got somebody here. You know what I mean?
Right. And then, like I said, you get, like I said, it's all things are looking up for the Philadelphia Flyers. But like before we log out of here, I want to hear your player of the game. If you had 3 stars,
my 3 stars. Star number 3 goes to Nick Sealer. Yeah, 4 blocks tonight. A big fight. Was in everybody's way. He's my 3rd star of the game. 2nd star of the game, of course, is Travis Konechny. He gets the game-winning goal. And, of course, number 1 star is the goaltender himself, Sam Erickson. They are my 3 stars of the 3 Flyers stars of the game.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go number 3. I'm going to go Travis Sanheim. The way, like I said, Travis Sanheim setting the tone of the game, that beautiful goal he made. Again, to me, he was just nasty on both sides of the puck. I mean, the way he played defense, the way I was him tracking down guys, forcing turnovers, all that stuff. I really liked what I saw of him. I'm going to go with you. Player number 2 was Travis Konechny. Just again, he's on a 7-goal game right now. 7-point game goal, 7 points for every game. He's been really nasty. Again, out of the second half, man, he's been carrying his team on his back. Then you go my number 1, Sam Harrison, just stopping 22 out of 21 shots. And like I said, a lot of people, and like I said, Bush opened my eyes. It's like a lot of people just forget. Like, everyone looks at it like he's been around been around the block 6 to 8 years, and this is his rookie year, his full rookie year. He competed with Carter Hart for that starting position, and now he's kind of he's stuck. He's between the net, so you gotta give him his due.
Before we talk about that game on Saturday, guys, if you need to get tickets for that game, go right here, sherrystickettown.com. Sherry's Tickets. Save 10% by using our promo code EOP10. That's right, guys. It's not just for sports, concerts. If you got all these hot concerts coming up here throughout the summer, guys, get over to sherrystickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. And of course, make sure you get over to them, guys. Also, if you're in the Ridley area, make sure you stop by 24 East Sellers Avenue. That's right. That is Dolan's Bar. You never know who you're going to run into there. There's been several times that I've been there that different people have popped in. One time went over there and a wiffle ball game broke out, and there was Mickey Morandini in the back playing wiffle ball. Lenny Dykstra was there. Lenny's like a stable there. That handsome guy in the picture, that is PJ. Let him know that the boys over at EOP sent you. Well, Pat.
Yeah, well, listen, and Mike, and before we go out, what was your grade of the game?
My grade of the game, I'm going to give the Flyers a solid B, man. I think they played, they were a little sloppy in the beginning on defense, but they kind of tightened it down after that. There wasn't too much, open ice chances for the Blackhawks. They kind of smothered them really kind of after like the midway point of the first period. Blackhawks had some chances, man, but like you said, Erickson. And another thing with the Flyers tonight, too, not too many trips to the sin bin. They kind of stayed out of the box tonight. So they played a good fundamental game. I give them a B for tonight.
I'm not going to go A+, but I'll give them an A. The fact that, again, you set the tone of the game. You played a lot better on defense. You broke away from this game in the second period. Obviously no one scored in the third period, but however, you played a hell of a better defensive game in the third. The way, like I said, just tracking guys down in the zone defense and all that stuff. I'll give this team a solid A for effort. So again, your Philadelphia Flyers rocking back from the win column. But guys, before we get out of here, of course, guys, the next biggest trip is coming up soon. Guys, hit up Philly Sports Trip. My man Vinny runs the whole thing. Guys, look at you might not, the game has been sold out, but you still could go to a tailgate party out there in London. Have yourself a ball. Check out the sites out there in London, that beautiful city. And again, guys, that London tailgate party. You could be partying up with there. You have another spring trip. The total package here is you go down there March 13th through the 18th. Again, guys, you go down there for spring training, and what else you can go there for? Flyers and Tampa Bay Lightning. So you don't want to miss out on that. We got a lot going on there. And of course, the man himself, the man, the icon, the legend, David Archerry Esquire, working compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. Hit him up today. Call him 610-565-0300. He'll take care of you. Guys, for me, my man Mike, Mike,
I'm Mike, knucklehead. You work with me every week, and now you're
every day.
Yeah, every day. Like no matter day and night now, obviously, and you're gonna
Yeah.
call me Matt.
And after hours.
Man, you are such a bobblehead. I cannot.
Yeah. Well, that's my nickname is. They just
Yeah, exactly.
at the Blue
So
Oyster.
guys, make sure you
They
tune
just
in
got that.
all over Edge of Philly Sports. We got something for everybody here, from Grant coverage to Sixers postgame with my bobblehead partner here, along with the rest of the crew over there. Guys,
Well, tomorrow again. Catch Mike Saturday. Mike's on Saturday. No, Sunday work.
I'm on Sunday.
Mike's got double duty. Mike's got double duty on Sunday.
I got to deal with this knucklehead early in the morning, and then I got to deal with Austin after
Another knucklehead.
Another knucklehead. So we should be good there. And what is it, Maddie and Al? Right? They got the Rangers.
Maddie and Al's got the next game. Stay tuned because tomorrow you have Fly Like an Eagles podcast with our man Mitch, and then you have the Attack Third with our man Austin and myself.
You and Austin. So guys, we're all busy here, man. So make sure you stay tuned.
Yeah, we're like the Spice Channel.
We are. Matt, you have a good night, brother. I'll see you Sunday.
Hey.